everyone, and welcome to the Contingency Plan Podcast. My name is Jedi Master David, and with me, as always, is Darth Austin.
Hello, everyone.
So for the second week in a row, everyone, we are going to go into the Darth's favorite subject of all time.
I'm not talking about Last Jedi.
Dang it.
No.
You've just completely ruined everything. I have notes and a document. And
You have a document?
no, I don't have anything.
Okay.
We go on this roll,
You just-
boys. Woo!
You just love that movie so much you can picture every little detail of it in your mind. You just remember every little detail.
Not really. No, we're not going to go over Last Jedi. We're actually going to take a bit of a dive into Rogue One.
Yeah, we're
the
going
movie that came
backwards.
out like 10 years ago that
Yeah.
we should have talked about forever ago.
After that, maybe we'll review Indiana Jones.
Maybe. Hey, you might
It's
need
fairly new.
You might need to take a look out for a potential another project that might be in that realm. You never know. So, yeah, before we get in too deep, let's do a little counsel. How was your week?
It's been all right. I'm looking forward to 2 days off for the first time all summer. What about you?
Not too bad. I have tomorrow off. I have been
You have
car
3
hunting.
days off.
Yeah,
You
3
are
days.
lucky.
Well, I've got to use vacation time or you lose it. But no, I've been unsuccessfully car shopping for a while, so I'm giving myself tomorrow. I'm going to ride around to a bunch of different lots. I'm just going to figure out what I want, and if I can't find anything tomorrow, I'm just going to put it on pause and then, blow all the money on, less than savory things.
That's right, folks. You
Lightsabers,
heard it here.
full Death
He is
Trooper
taking
armor.
a day off to do the worst thing ever, car shop.
yeah, man. I'm gonna go out there and just hate my entire life tomorrow.
You have to treat yourself when you get back. You gotta get like a 2 5-for-5s from Wendy's. Get yourself a six-pack and just cry in
Arby's
the corner.
has 2 for $6 cheddar melts, bro. Yeah, fast food.
Nah, I'm not a big cheddar melt fan.
I like cheddar melts. No, I don't know. I'm gonna ride around. I'm gonna see what happens. Probably hit up couple half price bookstores to try and break
There
the
you go.
monotony. But yeah, I hate car shopping. It is the devil's work. But I do want a commuter car so I can keep some mileage off the truck. So
Some points I almost hate private sale shopping more than dealership.
well, I mean, when you think about it, you go to a lot, you can haggle for tax and title,
and you
get
can
all
make
that
them
included.
repair things.
That's true. That's very true. So yeah, we'll see how that happens. I mean, I might find a few Millennium Falcons out there, garbage scouts, but
you Impounded, maybe.
looking for an A-wing, everybody's favorite ship. I actually thought about this. We need to do an episode just about
Rank all the different.
ships.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
Yeah, for that.
I'll tell you honestly, no, I won't, because, well, wait, I'm not going to tell you what my favorite one is. But actually, I've probably said it before because
have.
I'm
We
pretty,
both have.
I'm pretty emphatic about what my favorite ship is. But anyway, yeah, so another week down, and then Power Half Hour has started officially on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Cough
How's
break.
that going?
Oh, it's a lot of fun sitting by myself.
Oh, by myself.
Yeah, no, I
Only for a half hour.
yeah, for
Because
a
I
half
can't
hour.
stand it any longer.
No, I can't talk for any more than that. But yeah, I went over the Age of Resistance special comic, and so yeah, that was pretty good. Hopefully you guys like that. It's a chance to broaden my horizons. I was never much into comics as a kid. Obviously you'll hear the Darth on there from time to time as well, and potentially a couple of other folks. But yeah, that'll be dropping every Thursday, so you get 2 shows every week.
You are spoiled.
Spoiled, man.
We just take care of you so well that you should just get on our Patreon.
Whoa!
Please.
Oh, what a sellout!
I want lightsabers. I will sell out for lightsabers.
Yeah, I mean, I can't lie and act like I haven't recently thought about a lightsaber build again. I think there could be the possibility at some point, because obviously next year the big trip is out to Anaheim for Celebration. But I kind of feel like I've got some folks that are really ramping up to maybe go to Galaxy's Edge. And I don't know if I want to do 2 trips out to California in one year, but That would be really cool. And I'd come back with a
Build yourself a
Build
dual
lightsaber.
phase lightsaber.
Yeah, okay.
Just give you a motorcycle handlebar. Like, here you go. This is your dual phase lightsaber.
Yeah, why not? That's actually kind of funny. I don't think there's ever been, but like could you do a lightsaber where like the bottom of the hilt is like legitimately like a motorcycle? I'm
Sure you could.
just turn up the blade.
I'm sure you could.
Why not? That would be interesting. Thanks, Lucas. Thank us, Lucas. Go ahead. Check.
Why isn't that a
check some
thing?
mail.
Why can't you buy that?
They
They tease you with the books, but they won't.
honestly, it would probably be really
Freaking
stupid.
silly. It would be.
Well, speaking about books, seeing as you just did that, and I love cool transitions, a couple books. We kind of talked about this on Thursday, but I actually have them now. We've got to reach across the table. First one.
Your stack of Star Wars over there.
Yeah, I know. I need to figure out a place to put it all.
New bookshelf.
Yeah, I need a new bookshelf. Star Wars Myths and Fables by
Cool
George
cover.
Mann.
Very cool cover that you guys can't see. I'll take a picture of that for Twitter.
I think I put it up on Twitter.
Oh, did you? Okay. Cool.
If not, we'll talk about it later. But yeah, to be honest with you, this cover, it's kind of cool, but it's also a little sci-fi cheese.
Yeah. I don't like to imagine dragons in Star Wars all that much.
Where in the Star Wars universe was just a blue dragon? Blue eyes, white dragon.
Oh. There's only 3 in existence, but surprise, there's 4. Nope, I ripped it up. There's 3 now.
That's a harken back to your child. I remember you watching that dumb show. I really didn't like
Heart
that at
of the
all.
cards.
That was so horrible.
Heart of the cards.
That was just so. Blue eyes, white dragon. Nothing can beat that except when I put this arm piece and leg piece and whatever that one was called.
Exodia.
Wow, and you even
The
know.
forbidden one.
The forbidden. Okay.
No, I just rewatched
and somehow
that with...
somehow he gets older. Sometimes
Yeah.
he's like, I am a little kid. Oh no, I'm a
But he's the
much
same
older guy.
He's the same size though. Do you know that? He's just as short.
That's great.
I saw that. Scrolling through Facebook, I have like this one thing I follow. It just gives you random anime facts, and one's like, "Did you know he's just that short?" His voice gets deeper
Wow.
and his hair changes.
That's great. Well, anyway, so I haven't started these yet. I need to, and we'll probably talk about them a little bit next week or something like that as I kind of cycle through. But Myths and Fables, that should be very interesting. And then also got copy of
Crash of Fate.
I kept calling this a Clash of Fate. Like when I went to look it up, there's no Star Wars book Clash of Fate. I can't find it. It was a Crash of Fate, and this is the
Fateful
sort of
Crash.
Yeah, Fateful Crash, a Galaxy's Edge kind of an accompaniment. But this is actually more of like a story, and these are both like young adult, young readers, youth readers.
Adventure.
Well, this one, some of the descriptors are like two friends who like love each other, and they've been friends forever, but one of them went away and then later on they got back together and they don't know how to feel. No, I still, even despite the age bracket, sometimes it's kind of fun because you can pick out little pieces. I mean, that's the big thing with comics. Just picking out those little tidbits, and it kind of makes things fun.
Yeah.
So those two are new, and we might talk about those a little bit more.
Do you just not have a job secretly? Because you have a lot of books, and I just can't see how you have time for them all.
Well, I don't have time for them all. I'm not buying audiobooks on A Crash of Fate, but I mean, you could, but I'm not doing that.
But roughly, like, how many of your collection have you actually read, if you had to guess?
I mean, that's
70%, maybe. 80.
maybe, yeah, 70-80% of it. I mean, there's definitely things that I haven't read, but I mean, sometimes I buy cool copies of books or
Just to have
copies
them.
that I think are cool.
Yeah.
I might have some like a nice set for a shelf, but then also like a reader copy, like Lord of the Rings. I'm still kind of looking
you
for.
beat up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm still kind of looking for like a really cool copy of the actual Lord of the Rings trilogy because I just have my reader copies. But yeah,
the ones that don't close very well anymore, and they like fan out because they're soft cover.
They're just soft covers, yeah. So paperbacks. I really do like hardcover books.
Oh, yeah.
I just think it's really cool. But I've always kind of like sort of semi-collected books, and I'll go to half price and try and dig out first edition Star Wars books and Lord of the Rings, but whatever, just first edition.
Oh, speaking of which, I did find first edition. Oh, now I'm testing my memory. So the next series past Dark Tide, Agents of Chaos, I found
Agents
number
Chaos.
2, first edition. So I believe I have first edition for everything so far, up to that point.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Just a cool little tidbit. Gotta love half price.
It's very cool.
Anyone in Ohio, go to half price. It's amazing.
I feel like
is that nationwide?
I think they're more than Ohio, maybe,
Okay,
but
cool.
I don't know how far that stretches. But yeah, I just love bookstores in general.
Yeah.
They're still a lot of fun, and I've done some cheesy stuff like here recently. When I go, I'll take some of our cards and I'll stick them in Star Wars books. It's like, well, hey, if you buy this, and maybe check out this podcast.
So everyone thinks it's like 10 years old,
Maybe
like back when the book was new or whatever.
it's so fresh.
Just start putting in romance novels.
Hey, you never know. You could be reading Fabio, and then all of a sudden, Contingency Plan Podcast. What's that?
Honey, I know you're into nerdy stuff. Well, I was reading my 50 Shades of Grey number 10, and I found this card. Here, go check that out. Leave me alone. Let me fantasize.
Yeah, fantasize. Yep. So, that's pretty much what's been going on. One other thing, and I talked about this on Thursday, but we'll also...
Make Solo 2 happen.
Well, actually, that was one thing that I was going to shout out here. So, on Twitter, and I think this actually started with this particular person, it's at a rural farm boy, and he's been championing this Make Solo 2 happen, and I gotta say, I'm with him.
Yep, same here.
Like, I am with him hardcore because I want to see a second Solo movie, and I don't know about you, and I think I could probably also speak for you. Yeah, do it.
Yep.
Why hasn't it happened yet?
I'd go for a trilogy of Solo, honestly. He's
Well,
one of the most compelling characters. Why shouldn't he get it?
Right. I mean, it seems it would have seemed to make sense, judging kind of by how the movie ended.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all about reception.
Yeah, because I'm sure that him and Kira cross paths more than just in that movie, and I mean, there's quite a gap between when that ended and when we see him in A New Hope.
Well,
so
that's the whole thing is the
that'd be
continuance of
great.
Kira's story,
Yeah.
what
And maybe
Darth Maul and all that,
And then maybe on top of that, maybe the third one fill the gap between the original trilogy and the new trilogy.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get anything about that until after 9. I think 9 has to drop in order for anything else to really come out. Obviously, we're getting Mandalorian, in November and everything when Disney Plus drops. But I don't think we're going to see any more like cinematic. But there again, I mean, we've got D&D's trilogy. We've got a potential for a Rian Johnson trilogy. So there's a lot on the horizon. But I would love to see more Solo.
Yeah. You know what else I'd love to see? Rogue 2. Wouldn't that just be great? The continuation of the Rogue One story with all the characters?
What, showing their gravestones?
Sure. Hey, spoiler alert. There would be no gravestones,
Like
by the way.
No, there wouldn't. K2SO just like he reboots
It's just
after.
him. It's just him the entire movie.
Not only could he survive the vacuum of space, but he could also survive the Death Star.
He created the Death Star.
Oh God, no, I don't think so. But no, I don't know. I mean, I don't think. Obviously, you can't continue Rogue One.
Yeah.
But I think that there are other stories that you could take advantage of. What about all those Bothans?
Yeah, all the Bothans that died to get these plans to us.
Bothans, a Star Wars story. Hashtag that, Twitter.
Bothans. Oh, crap. We forgot about them.
Many Bothans died. A Star Wars story. Oh, crap. We're all dying. No, that's
And
bad.
all the Bothans died. The end.
Oh, God. Okay, so let's gauge your interest in this. New book, November 19th. The Secrets of the Jedi. Let's read. I read a bit of this on Thursday show, but we'll also read this to you as well because
See that cover first.
because I
Gotta see
know
the
you.
cover.
I know you secretly don't read, so I got to read to you. Prepare, Padawan, to learn from a legend. StarWars.com. This is StarWars.com. Blah blah blah. Reveal a new book. Author Mark Summerat chronicling the history of the Jedi Order with Luke Skywalker as your guide. Hey, guess what? It has a Papa Holocron in it.
Oh.
They even say the tome is filled with lush. Okay, let me stop here. When I recorded Thursday show, I actually caught myself saying the word lush. And I think the reason I did was because I read it in this article. I started seeing the word lush a lot. How many times in your average everyday life at however old you are now, how old are you now? Like 40? We're both like 50 years old, right?
Right. We've been doing this for about 2 decades.
In your life, have you used the word lush?
I think I've seen it 3 times in my life. I don't think I've ever seriously used the word lush.
It was the weirdest
for
thing.
anything.
It's like doing this podcast, that podcast, I was like, I am seeing the word lush way too much because it
Makes me uncomfortable.
I think it was also in the comic that we read. But anyway, filled with lush paintings and special interactive features. Okay, including a pop-up holocron, a translator card, a Jedi equipment book, and more.
Do you get your own little training droid? They'll just fire bolts at you as you're trying to read the
That
book.
would be sweet. So yeah, we the cover is really cool. So you have on the top Luke in the center. To his left we have Rey, and to his right we have the coolest Obi-Wan in Clone Wars battle armor, which is super cool. And then on the bottom we have.
By the way, why couldn't we see the battle armor in the movies? I mean, why couldn't we just get that?
Well, I mean, concepts and so forth, but yeah, it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, like I've talked to some cosplayers about doing that. The rigging for that would be really, really weird.
Really?
Well, think about it. It's not connected.
It's kind of a, yeah.
It's. I mean, I think he does. He has like a front and back plate, but like. It's all just kind of loose. It's not all.
So it has to be
you have
super
to have like
tight.
straps, and
Yeah.
I think it would be really. It might be awkward, but it looks super cool. Anyway, moving on. So on the bottom we've got several Jedi Masters, and in the center we've got Mace and Qui-Gon, and there's little Annie. Well, Big Annie.
Little Annie.
Yoda above the rest. You know, like he's some sort of god or
God.
something.
He's the avatar of the light.
But they actually did have a couple of pages here kind of marked out. It's really hard to read them on the phone, but a couple of pages and so forth there. So you have to
Cool.
take a look at that.
So do we have little back stories for the Jedi, or just
Well, it looks like they're going to give some information on the specific Jedi again from Luke's POV here.
it's Jedi stats?
His power level's over 9,000. But Secrets of the Jedi promises to be expansive, incorporating lore from Star Wars: Clone Wars, Star Wars films, and beyond.
Beyond.
To see Luke Skywalker address the Force priestesses from the Clone Wars and other iconic Jedi like Qui-Gon Jinn. Now, address Qui-Gon Jinn or speak to his Force ghost. And I was kind of talking to you about that a little bit before the episode because he's gone through all this time. Do you think he didn't sit there and maybe chat it up with Yoda, Obi-Wan, his dad? And I started thinking about it. It's like, let me hit you with this. Because I know you don't listen to Thursday show. No, but so what if him talking to his father, and maybe that's where Ben got his little Vader obsession. Little, hey, grandpa, obsession there. Maybe he took it the wrong way because he's a teenager. But I mean, think about Luke speaking specifically to Qui-Gon's ghost.
That'd be pretty epic.
It'd be epic, man.
That'd be probably the most epic thing to ever happen in Star Wars. Just the two best Jedi ever. Just hanging out, having a brewski, talking about
Is
stuff.
Luke the best Jedi ever?
I said one of the two. Yes,
We all know who your
of course,
favorite
Yoda
is.
is the best Jedi ever. By far.
Yeah, we all know who you gravitate towards. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk Rogue One. What do you think?
Terrible, terrible movie. Don't go see it.
It's
Don't go see it in theaters.
Absolutely huge movie. You know, so Rogue One was how I got back into Star Wars. After Disney bought Star Wars and disillusioned old canon or dissolved old canon, I was not a very happy camper.
Bitter. Just a little bitter.
And I didn't really want to watch Force Awakens. And
You waited a year for Force Awakens, didn't you?
well, Force Awakens came out, Rogue One came out. I missed both of them coming out. But one day I was like, why not? So I actually started with Rogue One and loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I kind of
funny
felt at
because
times
I
it was a
saw-
little rushed, but that was a thing. It was such a good story. So then I instantly went and bought Force Awakens, watched. I was like, whoa, this is pretty cool.
It's funny because I was the exact opposite. I saw Force Awakens in theaters on opening night and then waited probably a solid 6 months to watch Rogue One because I watched it on Netflix. That's how
Yep.
long I waited. So
It's now off Netflix.
Yeah.
Those contracts are expiring, buddy.
Didn't you love that when it had pretty much all the new ones except
Yep.
I don't think it ever had Force Awakens, but it had
it-
Last Jedi.
I think
Solo.
it still has Solo. I'm pretty sure it
I
still
think they
has.
got rid of Solo.
No, I think it did. I checked it the other
Oh, really?
day.
Okay.
But I mean, they will be going away
Right.
and will be a part of Disney Plus and Netflix. To be honest, I'm not. Netflix hasn't been sending in the checks lately, so I'm not here to endorse
Disney's
them.
so cheap. I'm not too worried, but I would literally pay that price just for Star
Well,
Wars.
see, and that's the thing. I guess we could do a little bit more HoloNet there in a way, even though we didn't say HoloNet yet. So prices have kind of been released,
Mm-hmm.
and they're talking about a package for Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus.
Really?
And I want to say it was like $12.99 or $14.99
For all three?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's cheap.
Wow. That's crazy.
I'm gonna try and look it up real quick. It was all over the Twitter. $12.99 bundle. Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus.
Wow.
So now that's Hulu with commercials,
Right.
not without. But yeah, I mean that's a great deal.
It really is.
It's cheaper than most people's Netflix.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than my Netflix.
I would expect to pay that just for Disney, not all three.
Well, originally I think we were chopping around just like the $7.99 or
yeah.
$8 or
About
whatever.
HBO-ish. Well, no, HBO
No,
is more
HBO
than
was
that. No,
16
that was,
after taxes,
That's right.
but
That was
that
what
was-
we paid a
Yeah,
piece.
Yeah, that was a little bit all for
Ridiculous,
basically
yeah.
one show because I don't think you ever really gotten to watching any.
I watch Westworld.
Okay,
I watch Westworld
because I
quite
was
a
like,
bit.
I know you were talking about it so much, and then I didn't really know if you ever did.
I didn't
'cause
take
sure
a
as
lot of
heck
time.
didn't.
No. There wasn't a whole lot to choose from, honestly.
Gotcha. So yeah, Disney Plus, that should be really cool again. November.
We're going to pay so little for it. We're literally going to spend like $5 or $6.
Dude, we
on it.
actually have to save some money for November because there's books,
We have
there's
so
the
much
game.
to buy.
You know, we both have to buy Nintendo Switches for some
Yeah.
reason.
Because of Star Wars.
Because of Stardew Valley.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Smash Bros.
How's your farm doing? Everything's dead. How's your farm?
I got the golden cat that spits out gold. It's super cool.
Is that a thing?
Yes, it actually
It is. I thought you just pulled that out here.
I've never played it, but I have seen some gameplay on it before.
Good God.
So, okay, let's talk Rogue One. So, we'll ask this, and I know this is kind of putting you on the spot, but out of all the...
Oh, I just love that.
I know you do. You like thinking on your toes. So, of all the movies, where would you say, from a ranking perspective, where would you rank this movie in the Star Wars universe?
Ooh, that's...
And we've never really specifically sat down and did this, and I think this is a good thing that we'll do in the future, actual rankings.
So as far as a serious Star Wars story, because there isn't a whole lot of humor in this, and in a way, there's some, but I appreciated having a more serious
blind.
story. Yeah. That was, the humor in this was actually very good. It's not forced like certain movies.
I'm here to rescue you, or you're being rescued.
Armbar.
Yeah.
I would have to say top 6.
Top 6. Okay. So what you're saying is top 6, but what you actually mean is number 1.
Of course. No. It's like 6.
Wow.
Maybe 5.
Wow. It's definitely...
No, I'm not going to say it's better than Revenge of the Sith, Solo, Force Awakens.
Sure.
Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back,
I'm
it's
probably,
very good.
Yeah, I'm probably in the same or similar boat.
You probably like it a little more than Solo, though, don't you? No? Do you like it more than Force Awakens? Do you like it more than Empire Strikes Back?
No.
Okay. If you were going to still do that, I was going to have to leave.
No, it's actually kind of tough. We will do an episode just on
ranking
that
everything.
At one point.
Yeah, we knew
maybe like
that.
a special episode or something, because that's tough. It's a tough one. God, I would put it probably on par with Solo.
Okay.
I don't know that I like one or the other better.
They're kind of in their own little category when it comes to Star Wars.
Well,
I feel like
they basically are, because they're
they're not part
standalones
of,
for the most part.
But as far the feel of it, the acting in it's a little more refined and serious than any of the other trilogies, I would say. And they're in their own little category.
Oh, yeah.
But
okay.
I'd say top 6.
Top 6.
I'd say 6.
I can dig that.
6 out of, we've got 11 right now. So, yeah.
So then let's talk about this then. Who was your favorite character from Rogue One?
Jyn Erso. But
what a feminist.
I know.
No, I love Jyn too.
Very close second is Donnie Yen's character, which I'm gonna have to pull up all of this because I'm terrible with names.
I understand. Yeah.
Who was your least favorite character? I don't like to go negative, but I was kind of curious.
Negative. Oh no, we have negative questions.
That's right.
Wow, that's a good question. Let's see here. Was Holdo in this movie?
Yes. Where is Donnie Yen's bodyguard in this cast?
His brother.
His brother.
Yeah, you're talking about his brother. Yeah. If you're on...
This doesn't have him. Wow. No, wait. There. Yeah.
Him, I think.
Wow, he looks different in the movie. Of course, he does have some crazy hair in the movie.
Long hair and a beard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I don't. That one guy who was in the Sherlock miniseries with Cumberbatch, he was like the negative detective or whatever, and he played like some guy in the Resistance. It's like, the Resistance is finished. That guy, I didn't like him.
Okay, I didn't even think of it.
Deep cuts. No, I don't know. No one specific. I think
which speaks to the crew. There's really not someone worth bashing.
If I had to pick one that I thought was maybe at the bottom, Bodhi, the pilot.
Okay. Yeah, and he didn't have much.
Well, it's not that I didn't like him, but I just don't think that they really highlight him. Listen, he survived freaking Bor Gullet.
Yeah,
all right, we know so much about Bor Gullet. Like, we should just rename this podcast the Bor Gullet Hour. Sponsored by Bor Gullet. What happened with Bor Gullet? Did he die in that explosion?
Yeah, he would have had to.
Or did he go subterranean and live?
Did he...
To suck another person's face?
He do the same thing as in Vector Prime, the wormhole before the destruction of that planet. Just jump into it and escape.
Goodness,
I don't know. With the old man.
Bor Gullet. Yeah, no.
Bor Gullet reads your thoughts. Bor Gullet knows your lies, your feelings.
Yeah, what do you think about him, man?
Not his best performance.
Holy crap, I'm forgetting
Forrest
his
Whitaker.
name. No, the character's name.
Oh, yeah, same here. Very cool name. It is Saul Guerrero.
Saul Guerrero. I can't believe
Cool name.
Well, Saul is he's mentioned in other media, obviously throughout the universe, and sort of a resistance leader, kind of goes
Rogue.
insane, is almost completely animatronic,
Yeah.
but and he helped raise Jin, basically. So we open up Rogue One. I don't want to go shot by shot type of deal, but so we open Rogue One. Jin, her father Galen, and her mother Lyra.
Yes.
Right? They're living on actually a really cool looking planet.
Yeah. Is it named? I don't believe it's named.
Good question. I didn't look that up, but if there's one thing in the Star Wars universe that I have never really researched, it's planet names.
Yeah, but I don't care. Even if it's not named in the movie, it has a name.
It was really cool, but the whole thing is that Galen is a scientist, and he helped director Krennic, who was another cool character that was introduced here, in the development of the Death Star, but left.
Yeah.
And took his family to this remote planet, attempting basically to hide from the Empire and get away from the evils of the Death Star.
Because that'll happen.
Right.
You'll be able to just walk away from that.
But as we've kind of learned in the new Thrawn Treason book, and also through other things, there were delays in the Death Star. And Krennic was having some trouble, so he comes to find Galen. The work is stalled. I need you back. Well, Galen doesn't want to come back. But he doesn't really have a choice. No. Krennic's going to take him. And this also introduced the coolest trooper ever, the Death Trooper.
Yeah.
And these guys just look menacing.
Don't you wish that they just replaced stormtroopers in general? I mean, could you imagine the difference in the movies if those were the generic stormtroopers?
Well, here's the thing. So the movies, the original trilogy did not do a very good job of representing stormtroopers.
No.
And if there was one critique I had about it is they effectively made them this, kind of dorky joke.
Yeah.
You can't shoot anything. But if you read books and everything, they're
kind of
actually a
BA.
lot more precise.
Yeah.
They're not, you have your different tiers, but these guys are not jokes.
Bumbling idiots.
So, but I mean, you got to have humor. It's still a kids' movie, but at the same time, these guys are soldiers, and then you have your tiers and stuff. Again, you need to get into Thrawn and specifically Treason because he has Death Trooper bodyguards.
Oh,
and they're really cool characters. But they're genetically modified. They're not standard humans anymore.
Yeah.
They're screwed up.
They're not little Django's either.
No. But yeah, I love the introduction of the Death Trooper, Krennic in his freaking cape. But basically,
rocking it like Lando, bro. Rocking it like Lando.
Not as stylish.
No, not as stylish. He doesn't have as many to choose from.
That's true.
He doesn't have a cape room.
There you go. Well, he might. They're just all white capes. So we open up here. Lyra and Jen are supposed to go hide. Yeah. They contact Saul Guerrera. They found us. And Lyra doesn't leave her husband. Yeah. She winds up dying at that point. Shoots Krennic, which is cool.
Yeah.
Gets a shot off.
Galen even tries to say before she's revealed that she had died.
Yeah, he was trying to cover for him so they could hide in their little
even tried to say his
bunker.
mind is gone. He can't remember things anymore. I mean, he's desperate at this point. He can't lie.
Exactly. So Jen does wind up hiding out. Saul comes and gets her and sort of brings her into his resistance.
Yeah.
However, she was sort of abandoned by Saul, and he gives a reason later that, you're
understand.
You're Galen Erso's daughter.
Yeah.
Eventually, somebody
find
might
out. Yeah.
try and use that against you. But we open up with her, as an adult, and she's imprisoned.
Yeah.
And then the resistance, or the Alliance is what they were calling them at this point, break her out because of her ties with Saul Guerrero, and they figure that they can use her to
get him to come back and help.
Effectively, get him. And so we introduce Cassian Andor, who, he is more
mixed bag.
Moral compass is a little skewed. His first scene, we see him confabbing with one of his compatriots, and basically
To keep
basically
himself safe
kills
so he
him.
doesn't say anything, he just shoots him in the back.
Shoots him in the back because the guy can't climb out
Yeah.
of this little place that they're in. You know,
Little alleyway,
Cassian
basically.
kills a couple stormtroopers when they're coming to like question him.
Yeah.
And in order to climb out, because his friend has a bum arm, apparently he kills him because it's like, you're not going to talk about me,
Right.
but you're not going to be taken either. So this is sort of the darker side of rebellion.
Yeah.
And you can see this in the real world too. Rebellions might be made of hope, but they also
you have to do some dirty things to
they can also be dirty.
get by. Yeah.
Yeah. And Cassian is a classic example of this. He's not like the cute scoundrel like Han Solo. He's an intelligence agent. He's
Kind
an
of
assassin.
a scumbag in a way.
He's a killer.
Yeah.
He's got a heart, but he believes in this. He isn't dark side, but he's done some stuff and he's seen some things.
And he would do the same things to survive if he didn't have the Alliance to fight for,
Correct.
truthfully.
And then we also introduced K2SO, which is a really cool droid
Yeah.
character. Probably
Probably one of my favorites
yeah,
of the new generation of Star Wars.
for sure. And who was his
That-
voice?
I have
He
that.
was actually
He's in
at
it as-
Celebration. I missed the panel because something else was going on. Alan Tudyk, I think.
I believe you're right. Yes, Alan Tudyk.
Warwick Davis was interviewing him, and I can't remember why we missed that panel, but there was something else that was going on that we wanted to go see. But yeah, he was there. Did a fantastic job with the voice. I really like the mannerisms because he's sassy.
Yeah.
You know, he's a
But not like
reprogrammed
L3
Imperial
sassy.
droid. Right. It was like, why does she get a blaster? Yeah. Would you like
Do
me
you
to
want
tell
to
you
know the
odds?
probability of her using it
Yeah.
against you? They're high.
They're very high. Yeah,
So,
he
let
had
me-
a lot of really nice one-liners, not forced. Because sometimes 3PO can get a little forced.
Oh, yeah. L3 was forced, too, for that matter.
L3 was unfortunately forced to the gills, but I really did like K2SO.
Yeah.
He was a cool.
He was used the proper amount.
And you know what we also need to do is find those comics, the Cassian K2SO comic. I've seen them out there. I just never bought them.
Let me ask you this. A lot of people have said it when the movie came out. Do you consider Cassian as a discount Han Solo? Do you think he's a good character or kind of just a copy of...
So you kind of have to look at the Star Wars formula. You know, you're finishing up Alphabet Squadron. So NAF is kind of like that same character. They always have a character that's kind of a scoundrel, cool coat.
Yeah. Got to have the coat.
I'm just saying. I mean, normally there's something with a cool coat, different blaster. Because it's funny because I thought about putting together
Cassian sniper blaster.
No, a Cassian cosplay thing at one point because it's not hard.
Yeah.
And I looked at the blaster one day. I was like, you know what? That is an AR-15.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. Platformed after an AR, and it was collapsible, and you could put on a longer barrel and a stock and sniper configuration. But is he a discount Han Solo? I think he's a little darker than that.
I would agree with that.
But I mean, I like him. I just think that if I had a criticism about the delivery, there were a couple times when some of his lines felt a little forced. Like there was one scene as we get along with when Jen reunites with her father briefly. He unfortunately is killed, and we're getting down the line here. And we didn't mention spoilers, but if you haven't seen this movie by now, you need to get out of here. But he's like, he's gone. And then there were some scenes where it's just like, I wish they would have.
Are you that heartless, or do you just not know how to converse with people?
I just wish they would have reshot it.
Yeah.
But no, I enjoyed the character. I thought he was a really cool addition to the universe. I liked their relationship as it built, and I liked his support. He wasn't resistant. He just was following orders.
Yeah.
He knew what was right and wrong, and he didn't choose the wrong.
Yeah.
So okay, let's go ahead and forward through a little bit here. So Jen is brought before the Alliance commanders. We do see Mon Mothma and a couple of other generals and so forth, and they basically lay out the plan. And she's not really digging it.
No.
She's had about enough of this resistance, this rebellion, because she was left. We figure out later she was just left.
Yeah.
Saul left her. So
She's pretty much seen nothing but pain in her life because of them.
It's true.
You know,
she's had a hell of a painful life.
Yes.
Sees her mother die. Her father's taken. He could be dead for all she knows.
In her mind, it's easier to assume that he is.
And that's what she says, yeah. So anyway, they go off on a mission to Jeddah to find a pilot who is supposedly defected at her father's request.
Yeah.
Bodhi. Rook.
So
cargo pilot.
So this is your weak point in the movie, in your opinion, as far as his character
I don't
goes.
know if it's just he's just sort of thrown in there. It's like, okay, so he's an Imperial pilot. Yeah. Now we get a little bit more sort of, but it's not a ton. Basically, Galen kind of befriends him and he kind of tells him to do the right thing.
Yeah. He has
he
strong
tries.
moral compass. He's not really cut out to be an Imperial pilot.
Well, he's not really, he's not cut out to be an Imperial, period.
Yeah.
So he defects, and he attempts to find Saul Guerrera to deliver a message from Galen Erso.
And he does.
Just
not the way he was expecting.
Yeah, however, he is taken, sack over the head, and I need to see Saul Guerrera. And then, he meets Saul, and Saul's seen some rough times, man.
And Saul's kind of losing his mind just a bit.
Yeah, well, he's paranoid. I mean, he's fought for a long time, and it's a tough life to lead. And he just thinks everything he hears are lies.
Yeah.
Lies! Lies!
Even when he's reunited with Jin, I mean...
Well, he thinks she's there to kill him.
He has a pretty heartfelt conversation with her about that. I mean, he's pretty much crying.
Are you? Did they send you to kill me?
There's not much left of me.
I felt really bad for Saul, honestly. Like, I kind of hope... I would love to see something else
Maybe
with
a
him.
book that...
Yeah.
Not necessarily him be the main character, but a very strong supporting role.
I actually think it would be really cool if we had a Saul Guerrera book.
Especially if you could get Audible and have Forrest narrate his character, not the whole book, just his character.
Yeah,
I couldn't do a whole book with Forrest Whitaker, but he does do an amazing job in this movie.
I do like him.
He is a very good Saul.
So anyway, Saul feeds, he didn't feed him, but he sends poor Bodhi to Borgullet, who essentially he's like a weird tentacled lie detector.
Yeah. But unfortunately, the side effect is one tends to lose his mind. Yeah. I kind of made out with Bullet at one point. That's why I was so paranoid.
Yeah, Borgullet.
I said the wrong thing.
he put a sucker on me. I don't know what happened. So anyway, we do have Jin and Cassian and K2SO arriving on Jeddah, which is actually a pretty cool planet. We're not gonna expound upon it too much, but there's Jedi Temple there.
Yep.
And they are attempting to find, if I remember correct, I think they were looking for like Bodhi's sister or someone's sister in order to get information on where the pilot was. So
I forget who it is, honestly.
Yeah, but so they're walking through Jeddah. They run into, oh my goodness, I'm forgetting.
The 2-bar.
Yeah, I'm a wanted man.
The guy who gets his arm cut off.
I'm wanted for the death penalty on 43 systems. Yeah, there's a whole...
The ones that mess with Luke.
There's a whole anthology behind that. The doctor, he's a doctor. He botches like plastic surgery or some stuff like that.
Yeah, and of course, as always, with his character, he's trying to start a fight.
He's starting to fight. But anyway...
Cassian.
Yeah, so there are definitely Easter eggs in here, which are cool.
Quite a few. But speaking of those, what do you think of Tarkin in this movie?
Well, I do want to discuss that. Let's just look briefly at the rest of Jeddah, and then we'll get to that, because, yes, I do want to talk about him a little bit, too, because I actually love Tarkin.
Yeah, me too.
If I had to follow an Imperial, if I had to be an Imperial, I would go under Tarkin.
He's a jackass, but he is an Imperial through and through, and he's smart.
There's something about him and his character that I mean, he's evil, but I could get behind if I were also evil, which I am. But anyway, so we're on Jeddah, and we get to a scene here where there's an Imperial tank and some troopers running through town. Jin and Cassian are just in the mix. Yeah. There is a rebel attack, and they are actually stealing kyber crystals.
Yeah.
That's what these guys are transporting. Basically, the Imperials are taking all the kyber.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Emperor's just trying to build a giant lightsaber, I guess.
No, he's making a throne out of kyber.
A death saber.
He's making a Game of Thrones throne out of kyber.
Yeah, I mean, it's for the Death Star. We know that. But anyway, so they actually steal the kyber back, but there's this it's actually a really cool battle scene. Yeah. Cassian saves Jyn from a guy who one of the resistance
he has
people.
to kill one of the resistance fighters.
He's trying to throw a grenade, and one of the other rebels sees it.
Yeah. One of Saul Guerrero's lieutenants, actually.
Exactly. And we kind of get to see how BA Jyn can be. She can fight.
Yeah.
She's got her little police baton, 80s police baton there.
Which I got to kind of question how effective that would be against thick stormtrooper armor.
Don't question it.
Okay.
Because if you want to question that, there was a tactic when Jiren shows up. So we get through this fight, and then eventually they're surrounded, but Jiren shows up and starts beating everybody with his
I'm one with the Force.
staff.
The Force is with me. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me.
However, he does a maneuver where he flicks sand at a trooper.
Yeah,
and
I know.
That shouldn't affect a trooper helmet. So anyway...
But it's coarse and rough. And
you have to suspend disbelief a little bit. But no, she's really good. She can handle herself, which is great. And Cassian's really impressed with that.
Yeah.
However, she does shoot an Imperial droid.
Yeah.
Did you know that wasn't me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Of course.
Come on, let's go.
K2SO does show up, and he kind of takes them prisoner, so to speak. However, they get stopped.
The crap out of Cassian.
Yeah. Well, because he's so out of the ordinary, the troopers want to take him away and go get a diagnostic. And that's when Jiren shows up, and he starts fighting him, and then his brother comes and mops up the rest with his cool little machine gun thing.
Yeah. Little backpack chain gun action.
Right. However, then the rebels kidnap them all, which also leads to a funny moment because Jiren's blind.
Yeah. That was probably the funniest moment in the entire...
You've got to be kidding me. I'm blind. We also glossed over the first scene when Jyn meets them.
Oh, yeah.
He senses her kyber necklace that she got from her mother. And what did he say? Oh, my goodness.
I'm drawing a
Something
blank here.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting scene, too. Wow. Everyone's yelling at us right now.
He said something. Anyway, it was a cool interaction and, pretty fast friends, so to speak. So anyway, they're kidnapped. Jyn is brought before Saul, and, he's, does it, are you here to kill me?
Yeah.
But he does show her the message from her father.
Very emotional scene.
Well, yeah, very much so, because, as much as it was for Saul, it's actually as much for Jyn to see. And he tells her of a way to defeat the Death Star. He's built in, what would be the word for it?
Defect.
A defect. And you got to get the plans. And this leads to the whole start of...
Bothan's dying.
Well, no, that's different. That's later on. This leads to the whole start of A New Hope.
Yeah.
When we first meet Princess Leia, they just came away from the mission that ended this movie.
It's literally seconds later. It's great.
Exactly. So we're in a race at this point. Now let's talk about Tarkin, because we do get to the Death Star. Yeah. So first,
Tarkin.
Well, first and foremost, obviously the actor who played Tarkin is no longer with us. He was a great actor. He played Tarkin extremely well. He might have wore slippers to set, but he was cool by me. So they did a CGI Tarkin. So let me ask you this. What did you think of CGI Tarkin?
Honestly, I think it's probably the best CGI person I've ever seen. It was
I agree.
Spot on.
I agree. It was probably the best CGI I have seen.
And going into this movie, I didn't know they did that. So
yeah, I didn't
seeing
either.
that, like, what in the actual F is this?
The voice acting was great. The mannerisms were great.
Yeah.
It felt like Tarkin.
It sounded like Tarkin. And they did his character so well. I wish we had more of him in this movie, just because of how well he was done.
I don't know. I think they did just the right amount.
Really?
Just the right amount.
You never really have seen much Tarkin throughout Star Wars.
I mean, he has a book. He was, briefly, obviously, in the movie, but I've always been intrigued by Tarkin's character. And obviously, he and Krennic have had a whole negative history together.
Yeah.
And he just wants to take over the Death Star.
Yeah. And
so
he does.
Well, he does eventually, yeah. So they take it to Jeddah to silence Jeddah and carry out a test. Just a single reactor.
Yeah.
And they completely...
Single reactor ignition.
Yeah. They completely wipe Jeddah off the face of the planet.
Yeah.
And our heroes do wind up escaping, but the escape scene was cool because like everything's just in the air and they're just like in a bubble.
Yeah. And
they're able to fly out. That was so cool.
Yeah.
That was a neat scene.
But unfortunately, we do lose a character in this.
Wicket. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Peace out, Wicket. No, yeah. So Saul, he stays behind.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad in a way. I just think he was tired of running.
He's done.
He was just tired of running. And so he met his end, the way he wanted to, I guess. Yeah. So anyway, we wind up shipping out, and they're going to try and find Galen. Now, this is sort of before they even leave. We do get the order to Cassian that you're not there to take Galen Erso alive. You find him, you kill him. And so that's his orders, right? So they wind up going to Edu, which is Galen Erso's base, I guess, where he works out of. Krennic is also on his way here, too. Because Tarkin points out that the leak, the pilot, was from the installation on Edu.
Yeah.
Galen Erso's,
Just kind of goes to show how perceptive and intelligent Tarkin is to piece all of that together.
Well, Tarkin knows. He's got intelligence.
Yeah.
There's not much that gets by him.
And he wants to make sure that there is nothing that can impede the creation and completion of the Death Star.
Right.
And he doesn't trust him. He does not trust Galen at all.
I mean, you'll if you get through Thrawn, you'll kind of see some more of their back and forth. They have history. So anyway, we do get to Edu. Krennic technically gets there first, lands, and then is basically ready to shoot everybody. Yeah. Tell me who betrayed us and all this stuff. Galen does confess. However, still kills all the scientists anyway. And then comes the Republic. The Republic TIE fighters come down and start, basically destroying the base. Unfortunately, at this point, Galen was killed by an explosion. Jyn was able to get a last word with her father, though.
Yeah.
Which was good. Stardust.
Yeah. My little Stardust.
Yeah.
Stardew Valley.
It was I don't know. It's good to have her to have that moment, but it's still super sad.
Yeah, it is.
It's raining. It's dark, and you just had and I love the actor who played Galen Erso.
Yeah, amazing actor. Doesn't get many great roles, honestly.
Well, I mean, he's
underused,
right?
For his
not
talent.
necessarily big role guy, but that's a guy who can play a wide range because he was the main villain in Casino Royale. Yeah. He plays a great villain. But he plays a good guy too. He can play whatever. He's
actually there's a game that came out recently where it's kind of like the Kevin Spacey Black Ops deal where it's Death Stranding.
Is that what it's called?
Death Stranding.
I remember I saw
it's
something
the Metal
about
Gear
that.
Solid guy went off and made his own game.
Right. Okay, cool. So let's see here. It did kind of briefly gloss over our friends getting to Edu, but, there was one line Jiren was like, when Cassian and Bodhi go out to scout, does he look like a killer? he looks like a friend, which I thought was a weird line. He looks like a friend.
Yeah.
And then, Jen kind of asked us, like, what are you talking about? It's like, there's a darkness that surrounds a person who's ready to kill.
Yeah.
And, Cassian has orders. And, of course, K2SO points out in his infinite wisdom, his rifle was in the sniper's configuration. Like, shut up, K2. Jeez. So, anyway.
Like, they wouldn't have noticed that, though.
Well, yeah. When they do rejoin in the stolen shuttle, Jen confronts him.
Yeah.
But Cassian doesn't back down. It's like, I've lived this. Yeah. It's real to you now, but I've lived this.
You're not the only one who's lost everything.
Yeah. He's sacrificed so much, and he's like, I didn't pull the trigger. I could have, but I didn't. But you lied to me, but I didn't pull the trigger. I made a decision to not do this. Yeah. So, I mean, her anger is legitimate, but it's also a bit misplaced.
Pointed in the wrong person.
Exactly. So anyway, they do get back to the rebel base on where?
Yavin 4.
Yeah, Yavin. And they're basically presenting what she knows at this point.
And at this point, they're trying to decide if they want to continue to fight.
I am so sick and tired of the Republic, of all these rebel generals and commanders. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of them.
Yeah. I mean, you did get to see a couple of good cameos here. You got to see Bail.
Which was awesome.
It was. And, I've been listening to reviews lately. It's like, oh, yeah, there's Bail just for the sake of Bail. It's like, no, it's awesome to see him, and why wouldn't he be in this movie?
He was an important senator from Alderaan, and he was an important member of the rebellion. Yeah. Just because we didn't see him in the beginning movies, I mean, he was killed.
Yeah.
He was killed on Alderaan. But his story is actually very expansive. He's a great character. But yeah, he was there. And we even had little, your friend, the Jedi. He served me well in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Who it was like, what
was his name again? Like, really? You don't know his name?
I think his name's Ben or something like that. It's like, do you, what did Mon Mothma? It's like, do you trust the person you're sending or whatever? It's like, I trust her with my life. Yeah. And it was obviously Leia. Right. But the council here is not going to attack Scarif. That's the whole crux. We have to go to Scarif. We have to get these plans if we're going to defeat the Death Star.
And pretty much Bail and Akbar are the only ones who want to fight at this point. Everyone else just kind of
the Mon Calamari are all in. And then there was the one like general or commander or colonel or whatever who had the X-Wing division. I don't remember his name.
You can't think of his name either, but yeah.
But he was in too. But basically, the Mon Calamari went.
Yeah.
They just went. And that's kind of why they were so
pivotal.
Such an intricate and important part of the war, because they went. Yeah. They had the military. They had the ships.
They had the most ships.
They built the ships.
They were the reason the second Death Star fell. I mean.
So very important part. But then, Mon Mothma
kind of wimped out too.
I am not a huge fan of Mon Mothma. I know it's not necessarily a popular opinion. We're all supposed to like Mon Mothma. She's supposed to be this intriguing and regal, and everybody loves her and respects her, but I don't understand why. And it's not personal.
I feel like more Mon Mothma's just used as a cameo. It's just something to mention. Like something that's supposed to have more gravity than it really does is mentioning her in any of the books, in any of the movies.
She was a leader. Yeah. I just don't understand why. Like I've never, because like in the Aftermath books when she became like Chancellor, I didn't care for her at all. Because she was also for like demilitarization of everything. But it's like, how dumb is that?
You can't do that yet. You still have enemies.
I mean, you literally, you defeated the Empire, but there's still the remnant. I mean, there's still problems.
The Emperor's gone, but you didn't kill them all.
And it's not even that you have to kill them all. And I can understand a de-armistice, but at the same token, you have to be smart about it. And she just didn't seem smart about it for me. And I just never understood why I should have all this respect for her. I always just felt that there were greater people around.
Yeah.
Bail for one. I would follow Bail Organa. I think he'd be great.
Yeah.
And his wife as well. who was expounded upon more in other media. But anyway, so Mon Mothma is talking to that guy I can't think of, the general guy. She has a little smirk, though, when they figure out the Mon Calamari have left. It's like it's what she wanted, but she couldn't make people do it.
Right.
And I actually think that's why I can't stand her as much.
Because backed down.
Yeah, because she only goes with the majority. It's like, or she goes with what the perceived majority is. It's like, why don't you appear stronger on this stuff? You don't have to rule, but just like this is the right thing to
Make
do.
a stance.
Put your fist down.
And truthfully, what does this alliance matter if they're not willing to fight? They're all going to be wiped out anyway. So why try and appease people who aren't willing to fight for their freedom?
It's tough. I mean, I don't really think she has anything in the way of her forces like some of the other ones do.
She's just a figurehead.
But just, I don't know, put your fist down. Like it's almost as if she's like too concerned with her position or something.
Appearance.
Or I don't know. I don't want to down her too much, like, because she's not a bad character. I wish she did more. So anyway, Jin, kind of in a defeatist sort of deal here, finds Jiren and his brother, and it's like, what did Jiren say? Something about, you got the look at her or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we need people. It's like, how many do you need? It's like, what do you mean? Turns around, there's Cassian with several soldiers.
Rebels.
Yeah, rebel scum. Rebel scum. And, they've got a little force here. And they steal back the stolen Imperial shuttle.
What's your call sign?
What do you... Rogue One? There's no Rogue One. I love the voice. Yeah. Rogue One?
Yeah. It's how it changed, too. Like, he's yelling at him, and then he just changes his entire tone to that.
What's your call sign? Rogue
One.
Rogue One. That's just such a soundbite there.
And by the way, I just have to say, best cameo ever, the Yavin 4 guard in the tower.
Oh, yeah, earlier in the movie. Oh, my God, what a... Pew pew. What is he doing? I'm a lookout. You couldn't have had a droid do that?
Right.
No, I want to be in the tower.
You're
it's
not
cool
very
up here.
high.
That
Your tower is lower than your structure.
He's got a radar gun. It's like, you're speeding. You're going 200 miles per hour.
You're speeding.
You're going 12 parsecs per hour. Oh my goodness! Yeah,
you could do the castle run.
Yeah, that's a cool shuttle. Yeah,
I bet there's a backstory for that guy.
There's a backstory for everything. There's probably fan fiction or something.
Just like there's a backstory for the guy who pulls a little lever that makes the Death Star go.
That's a cool sound.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on a little bit. They take the shuttle. They have codes. But, code's wrong. They'll just be, blown out into space. Yeah. But I could survive. K2SO. I would survive in the vacuum of space. Another great one-liner. So they go to Scarif.
Plummeted to a planet. And destroy.
So they go to Scarif. Scarif has a planetary shield with a shield gate. Transmit the code. They are allowed in. And basically, this is where they start their sabotage. They have multi-pronged attack. Yeah. Jin and Cassian and K2 are going into the actual archive to find the plans. They have some suits. Yeah. Like Jin sort of has like a TIE pilot kind of looking thing, and Cassian has like an officer's garb, and K2's
K2.
He's an Imperial droid, just reprogrammed.
With different lights. You notice that, like all the actual Imperial droids they have a little red.
It's a side effect of the reprogramming.
Yeah. So that doesn't make you stand out at all.
Right. So Bodhi is kind of responsible for trying to get a communication out. Once the shield's up, unfortunately, you can't transmit out because they have to use this dish to transmit the plans, basically. And I got to tell you this. I pretty much knew nobody was going to live.
Oh, yeah.
But as soon as that shield gate snapped shut, the first thought in my head is like, crap.
They're not coming back.
They're all dead.
Yeah.
No one here is going to make it.
Yeah.
No one. Not even a minor character. Everyone is dying in there. And it was kind of deflating. I was like, crap, I really like these characters.
Yeah. But they had to die because they're not mentioned anywhere else in the Star Wars universe.
So anyway, let's kind of go through sequence of events here. So we've got Bodhi and some of the soldiers on the pad.
It's kind of funny. They're kind of in radio comms telling people where to go so they can destroy everything.
Right, exactly.
Blow everyone up. Set little charges.
A couple of X-Wings do make it through the shield before it closes, and they're wreaking havoc. We've got... It actually feels like the rebels are doing a really good job here. Now, the tide does kind of turn. Krennic sends his death troopers out. We have the shore troop. I think they're shore troopers, which was a cool new trooper for this as well. Reinforcements start getting out there.
The Citadel is just a
Scarif is cool.
freaking location.
Scarif is just a cool planet as well. So anyway...
It doesn't look Imperial.
No,
it's
not
weird.
Really. So basically it's set up like this. We got to get a transmission out so that we can tell the Alliance to blow up the shield gate.
Yeah.
So we have to patch in something into the shuttle. That's Bodhi's job. Well, we also have to find the master switch. Oh, it's a master switch, master code breakers, master... Never mind.
Plot devices.
Plot devices.
Everywhere.
And that's kind of Jiren, his brother, and some of the soldiers. They go off to find this master switch. Let's talk Bodhi first. So, well, actually, no. Let's talk master switch first because that has to happen first.
Yeah. Let's talk how everyone dies in sequence.
Yeah. Well, our friends are unfortunately under fire. The death troopers have caught up to them.
Jiren's brother's being a BA.
Well, the like the head demo guy dies. He actually doesn't get a good death because when they reach this little place where they're just hiding out, he's coughing and stuff, and then all of a sudden he's just dead.
Yeah.
They don't show him dying. He's just all of a sudden dead. It's like, well, crap, that was kind of crappy. He was cool. Jiren gets into his little prayer. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me. He's blind, but he finds that master switch, turns the master switch, and then unfortunately is blown up.
Yep.
Somebody throws a grenade. Brother runs out, going crazy.
Kills quite a few.
Well, he kind of regains his faith a little bit because Jiren says, I can't remember specific lines, but it was basically, if you believe in the Force, I'll be there or whatever.
Yeah.
So he goes a little nuts, starts killing everybody, is shot quite a few times, and then eventually gets grenaded. And so he's dead as well. So then we flash to Bodhi. Bodhi does get a transmission through to the Mon Calamari. However, it's all grenades.
I know. Everyone dies by a freaking thermal grenade.
I didn't think about that until just now. Trooper throws a thermal grenade into the shuttle, blows up the shuttle, blows up Bodhi.
Every main character dies by explosion. When you think about it, every single one from Saul on dies by some form of explosion.
Except K2. K2 gets shot a lot.
True.
But yes, you are pretty much human.
Every human.
So K2, Cassian, Jin, they're in the archives. K2's trying to direct them from this control panel. Troopers are coming in, and eventually they're really pouring in.
Yeah, like 30
dozens.
of them.
He's holding his own with his single blaster, trying to direct them.
Kills unfortunately,
quite a few. He does.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, it's too much. He does lock.
It takes like 30 bullets.
He really does. He gets shot up bad. Yeah. He does lock down the vault and puts a beacon on the one, whatever disc or tape or whatever they need to get. Yeah. But unfortunately, he does die. Deactivated.
Yeah.
So Jin and Cassian, they have to climb this big pillar thing to get this tape for some reason. The power goes out because they shoot everything in the control room.
Because, they make it so easy to find all these files and get to them.
It's great. Yeah, I know.
It can't all just be like, we're just so advanced. This little box has all the information.
It's great. However, Krennic and his couple death troopers do catch up with them.
Yep.
Cassian does manage to kill the death troopers as they're hanging onto the pillar.
Is shot.
Well, I don't.
Well, I think it's Krennic, actually.
He wasn't shot, but like he
like
fell.
in the gut or something. I thought he
No,
got
I don't think
shot.
he wasn't shot, but
Okay.
he did fall. Jyn,
Injured
he might
badly.
be dead.
Yeah.
Jyn keeps moving. She's got to get these plans out. So she winds up reaching the top of the tower. She has to realign the freaking dish. God, what is this, like 1990s DirecTV?
Yeah, pretty much.
You must realign the dish to watch HBO.
By the way, we kind of skipped one really good scene. I just want to mention real quick.
I'm not going to remember it all.
Vader and Krennic.
Yeah, we did kind of gloss over that a little bit here.
We do get our first cameo with Vader. He's in his
This is actually
tank.
something. This is actually something that a few people had thought was really cheesy, but yes, we
Oh,
did.
I loved it.
We did get the first Vader, and yeah, he was in the tank, and Krennic does visit him at one point. This is basically around the time when Vader's, he's at the Death Star. He's going to oversee it.
Tarkin is taking over at this point.
Which is why you need to read Thrawn to figure out why he was there, because it wasn't the Emperor who told him. It was Thrawn's idea. Tie-ins. So anyway.
God,
Vader.
By the way, Alphabet Squadron. Spoiler alert. Ton of tie-ins to Jyn Erso.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that as soon as you finish that book. So anyway, yes, we have a little bit of a thing where Krennic's very ambitious. So he was like, "You'll speak to the Emperor. Don't choke on your ambitions, director."
Honestly, I thought that was great, classic
Yeah,
Vader.
it was good. I think a lot of people just thought it was because it's a pretty serious movie.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to have humor.
But Vader, it's kind of hard to make Vader 100% serious in any movie. Now, in the books, I mean, he can be a freaking horror movie character practically. But, yeah.
All right, so back to Scarif and Death. So Jen's trying to realign the 1990s DirecTV satellite dish.
Which activates about 3 spawn waves of enemies, I believe. 3 minutes apiece. Yeah. She has to hold out.
Yeah, there's like a TIE fighter, and then Krennic does wind up showing up. However, Cassian wasn't dead. He he disables Krennic, and they are able to send the transmission. Yeah. Now
it gets sad.
Yeah, and they leave Krennic. Jen's getting ready. She wants to kill him, but Cassian stops her because he kind of knows what that leads down.
Yeah,
what path that leads down.
Not that it matters.
Well, it does if you're talking about soul.
Yeah.
Tarkin has brought the Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
Literally
the only time you get to see the Death Star be mobilized in any Star Wars movie. Pretty terrifying when you think about it. Imagine just looking up at the sky and seeing that like, I'm in danger now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in danger. So the Rebel fleet is basically, it's hit pretty hard. It's almost decimated. So they got to get out of there.
It's kind
May the Force be with you. Peace out.
They make the jump and a few of them don't make it because a destroyer just comes in and barrels into a few of them.
Yep,
destroys
exactly.
them. Yeah.
But I thought Hodo just ran through the dreadnought. Why didn't they run through it?
Imagine if the dreadnought could just go through, just hijack a dreadnought and go through the Death Star. That's how you destroy the Death Star.
It could happen, I guess. So anyway, let's go ahead and final scene with Jyn and Cassian. They basically know the score here.
They go onto a beachhead.
But I'll tell you what.
Great scene, though.
Hold on, though. In your last moments, the shield gate's technically down. Would you go to the beach with your pseudo girlfriend, or would you attempt to find a freaking shuttle?
Which there has to be a few. Just
Find a shuttle.
One that can make the jump. That's all you need.
It made no logical sense. I mean, it makes sense in a story tale book.
You can't keep them alive. Well, you can't keep Jyn alive.
But I'm just saying, like in real life, I would have been going to like the hangar bay and trying to find a shuttle. And all the time it took them to literally walk down to the beach, they could have found a shuttle, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, it is very emotional.
Is their shuttle destroyed?
Yeah, that was the one that was blown
I wasn't
up
sure
with
if it
Bodhi
did.
in it.
Okay.
So, but they could. I mean, come on. There's got to be shuttles or something. TIE fighter, whatever. They're able to kind of have their moment, and the Death Star fires,
Yeah.
destroys Scarif.
Amazing scene, by the way.
Yeah, I mean the music in this movie
It's
was
great. The
fantastic,
score
very
is
unique,
perfect.
kind of where our theme song was inspired from.
And the music played when it fires is,
Yeah,
it gets you in the feels.
it was emotional.
Yeah. And it really, I mean, that is the most devastating. I mean, yeah, we've seen the Death Star destroy entire planets, but seeing its raw power, just barely using it,
Yep.
what it can do, that's the gravity of that scene is bigger than destroying an entire planet.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Especially when you get into some of the books that go into greater detail of basically what happened to them in that
Exactly.
scene. I mean, they're vaporized,
Yep.
essentially.
Yep. Terrifying, man.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
And she just looks straight into it
Yep.
till the last moment while
Yep.
embracing Cassian. So
Yep, exactly. But the movie doesn't end there.
no, we get the
no.
best freaking
Some people don't even like
best
this.
scene. This scene is amazing.
So Vader goes after the Mon Calamari cruiser. They do destroy it. However, another little smuggler ship does wind up getting out before it was destroyed. And this is sort of where we enter into New Hope,
Yeah.
where Vader catches up with Leia's ship.
Yep.
I'm an ambassador on a peaceful mission. Why are you bugging me, Dad? What? Spoilers!
Spoilers for me. I didn't even know that, Dad. I mean,
We
Vader.
get one of the coolest scenes with Vader. Okay.
Now, I kind of mentioned horror movie before. This feels like it could be like a horror movie scene. It's just
Now, technically, in A New Hope, we kind of have the door getting blasted open, the troopers go in, and then Vader
but
just
this
walks
is
in.
so much more epic. Well, having him walk in alone, dark room.
And I'm sorry, I'm misplacing. This is on the ship before
Right.
Leia's ship gets away. So this
Yeah.
is on the Mon Calamari ship. That's my bad. But yeah, so it's literally a relay race with the Death Star plans.
yeah,
And you've got like what, 10 people trapped. The door won't budge.
yeah. Because
There's just a sliver to get a hand through. And here in walks Vader, his
completely dark
lightsaber,
lightsaber illuminates the corridor.
and he just kills everyone.
Probably one of the most savage displays in a Star
Yeah.
Wars movie.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was.
And but that last guy, he just take it. And he's killed. And it's just a relay race to get it into Leia's ship, which blasts off, and that's where we leave Vader just sort of looking out into space. And of course, then we would move into A New Hope.
And of course, they wouldn't be pulled into the vacuum of space or anything, being an
He's
open
Vader.
show.
He's got magnetic boots.
But the stormtroopers, they're not that
we
big.
don't care about that.
They just stand there.
Rogue One, man.
What'd you think of faux Carrie Fisher?
Okay, so
Quickest cameo ever.
No. Good point. I didn't like that as much as Tarkin. There was something weird about when she smiled that it looked very unnatural
you
to
can
me.
see the outline as well.
It wasn't as well executed as Tarkin, but
They spent their entire budget on Tarkin, and I'm okay with that. He needed it more.
yeah, I wish the animation would have been a little bit better on there. But no, it wasn't. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it was what it was. It was what it needed.
How'd you like how many times they said hope? We need hope.
Hope, lush hope. Lush.
Luscious hope.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a common phrase. It's like, may the force be with you and everything. What did you think of Jen saying, may the force be with us?
I didn't like that.
Really?
I don't know, because she just, I mean, it was so
That's
out
a
of place for
Jedi
her.
word. That's our word.
No cultural appropriation.
Yeah, I do
It
know.
just seemed out of place with her.
I know a lot of people had said some stuff about that back at the time. I didn't really mind it.
But I mean, it's kind of the same with
It's a-
Erica Quell saying it.
It's a rally point. It's a
kinda-
rally call. It's something harkening back to an older time. And, you know, it kind of made sense in a sense because they had obviously had, you know, some understanding of what the Force was potentially with her mother and everything. So, But yeah, no, that was I
Her
just
mother was a Force sensitive.
I don't know about that. I'm not
think she
sure.
was.
I'm not sure about that. So Rogue One, man. So in your top 6, huh? You haven't changed your mind on that?
No, I would say it's my 6th favorite.
Awesome.
Solo right above. Very close though. Very
Gotcha.
close. Great movie.
It was a great movie, and hopefully you guys enjoyed our little walkthrough through Rogue One.
And I would say one thing. I think that this, if you're trying to get someone into Star Wars,
Yeah,
this would be the movie.
agreed. I think it's an easy movie that you don't have to get into the Force, the religion of the Force,
Yeah.
the whole Force. You
There's
can kind of
enough
just get on boots
aspects
to the ground
to
of
intrigue
rebellion.
you, about
Right.
the Force and all of that. But it's just a good story.
Yeah,
all
I
along.
agree.
Yeah.
Oh man, well that was a good talk.
Yeah.
So, folks, again, hopefully you enjoyed the Rogue One recap here. Hopefully we didn't spoil the movie for you. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at TC Plan Podcast and send us your Star Wars story to tcplanpodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on Facebook and we'll read your story right here on the podcast if you'd like. Also, again, make sure to check out the Thursday show. That's the Star Wars Power Half Hour. That'll be comic book based. And we will actually next be getting into, hopefully,
Alphabet Squad.
you want to do Alphabet Squadron?
That
or
will
you
be the
wanna
next.
Because we also need to get back into our reread of New
Yes.
Jedi Order.
Yes, we
We're
do.
going to work on that a little bit. We actually have a big record day coming up,
Yep.
and we're going to be jumping hardcore into some recording of some Star Wars literature.
And just so you know, it's so much better than the last one.
Yeah, well, the
The
thing
writing
is
is so much better.
I think we had to have a little bit of a palate cleanser because
Yeah.
like Dark Tide 1 was a little difficult for us. It definitely had some writing that wasn't really equal to our brain power at the time, and I don't know. It was tough. It was just a tough
especially
one.
diving so far into chapter.
Like, you guys
over
aren't real
chapter.
Star Wars fans. It's only the second book.
Sometimes
The
it
second
happens.
book sucked, people.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
I didn't suck. I'm kidding.
No, it
I'm
didn't.
kidding.
Yeah, it didn't.
The
suck.
writing
It
was just rough.
It was. It could be rough at points. So, yeah, we're gonna continue on our journey through the New Jedi Order, Alphabet Squadron. Other things.
We're gonna have more books coming up here soon.
Well,
Thrawn is definitely
Black
coming up.
Spire is coming up at the end of the month. Then I think there's something dropping in September. I'm forgetting a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things.
Tons of comic books, tons of video games, tons of movies, tons of everything.
It's a
TV.
great time to be a Star Wars fan.
Isn't any time a great time to be a Star Wars fan?
True, but it's really good to be now.
No, the prequels weren't a great time to be a Star Wars.
I think it was. I enjoyed the prequels.
I did.
In-
We
in-
just
in-
didn't have a lot of extras until Clone Wars came out. So
Yeah. Well, anyway, folks, thank you very much for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. You guys have a great rest of your week.
And as always, may the Force be with you.